Hey y'all, it's Megan. Welcome back to the channel. Glad y'all are here today. Come spend a little time with us today. And actually our day is not starting off quite like we planned. That's how it goes sometimes, right? We got up early this morning. I was working on editing a video and Andy had some stuff that he wanted to get done this morning because we're going to a cookout this evening. Well, he come outside and Cookie, which is Candy's calf, was out here running around the yard. You don't think to grab the camera when there's a cow running loose, because usually when animals get out, for whatever reason, they like to mosey their way and like find any road or any dangerous spot they can get in, and that's what they do. So anyway, Cookie was out here running around, and we were like, what in the world? Is the fence down? What is going on? Because we've never had that problem. When she's got out in the past, it was my fault because she came under the stanchion. Got her put up. It really wasn't that hard. She listens and knows her name, but got her put up, and we were like, what, you know, what's happened? Walked around the edge of the fence. I seen where she got out at. No power whatsoever on the fence. Well, come to find out, our main wire that runs our pig lot, the steers, and the horses and cows on this side, the wire was cut, and looks like it may have got caught on Andy's trailer when he backed under the shelter and we didn't know it. So who knows how long it's been that way. Thank goodness the pigs and the steers, and you know, they haven't been out before now, and if Cookie hadn't got out this morning, we'd have never checked it. That's just the unfortunate truth. We really wouldn't have had a reason to. So Andy's done had to run to the local hardware store, and he's trying to get that fixed this morning before we start our day.
It's probably been a week ago when I hit this. I got it beat back out there where it broke that piece there. I straightened all that back. This is just going to be a temporary fix though, because it needs to be fixed right. So this is the power wire that supplies power to this building, which is also what runs our fence box, our electric box. And no, for all of y'all power experts out there, this is not right. I know it's not right, but it's just the way it's been for years. And this should be in a piece of conduit run up here all nice and neat looking, but it's not. And what happened was I hit it with the trailer, and it hit that post right there, and this was stapled up to the post just like that. And when it pushed that post back, it broke the wire. And we didn't have power on this building at least for a week now. It might have been longer than that.
It's been a while.
But I didn't even pay attention to it when I hit it. I didn't notice it. I never even noticed that it broke anything when I hit it the other day. I just went on about my business and continued on with life. And apparently, maybe I should have looked a little bit closer.
Well, if Cookie hadn't got out, we wouldn't have looked even
Oh,
now.
no. We'd have never noticed it. I will say that it was in the back of my mind that something was telling me I should check the power on the fence, because you know, you can always tell when you got power on the fence because you can hear it popping on certain things if you've got something against it or whatever. And I had just been noticing that I hadn't heard it popping quite like it should have been. But I've just been so busy, I just keep ignoring it, I guess you would say. All I'm going to do is splice this right here together with some heat shrink splices and staple it back to that for now, and I will fix it when, well, I ain't gonna lie, I'll probably fix it when it breaks again. I was just looking for a piece of conduit or something I could run up in here, and I couldn't find one, and I don't have one, and y'all, I just want to get it fixed. So the power runs through this wire out of this building over to the hog lot, and that also supplies power to the hog fence as well. So that means there's not a single fence around here right now that's got power on it because this is broke.
I think Cookie got pushed out.
Man, I'd say so. You're probably right.
Black Star's kind of a bully, and they were eating some hay down there on the edge of the fence yesterday, and I bet you anything Black Star pushed her out. Because she was ready to get back in this morning. Like she was, I don't know how long she had been out. I have no idea, but I know one thing. She was glad to get back in there.
Well, this right here is also, since it's on my mind, once I get this fixed, I'm going to go check the rest of the fence and just make sure everything's good. Since I'm doing it, I might as well do it.
You might, yeah. Like I said a while ago, we've got a cookout this evening, so I've got to go. I'm going to make my pumpkin pie first so it can sit in the refrigerator. And then I'm going to make some sausage dip. So.
Watch that thing draw up. Uh-oh. That's what I hate about those things. I always melt the coating on the wire you ain't supposed to melt it on. Yep. Do the next one. That's some thick tape.
That's what you want.
Yeah, that little kit I put it together there with is a splice made for well wire. So once you shrink those coatings around it all, it makes it watertight. And that rubber tape right there is not even sticky. It just somehow or another sticks to itself. I think now that I got a coating of that over it, I'm going to put a coating of regular electrical tape over it all just to make it neat looking. We were just laughing about it. Even though I know this right here looks bad and it looks rigged up, and it is rigged up, it's actually a lot better than what used to come down here. This right here is actually the only bad spot in it. When my grandpa lived here, there was a wire that come out of the top of the house up there. And it come out of the top of the eave of the house, and he had it strung up in the trees, and then it tied in to where you see that insulator right there. Then it run down, which we've redone all this since we've been here, but it ran down to a plug-in and that light socket. And anyways, that wire was strung across the driveway, and it was tied together. It wasn't even tied together with waterproof stuff like this. It had wire nuts tied everything together. It's honestly a wonder Grandpa never burnt the house down, because there was stuff like that inside the house too when we first moved in. But it was just, you know, I think about that a lot, and how technical sometimes we get with stuff, and how we got to have it exactly right. And I look back on, and you know, Grandpa wasn't the only one that I ever know to do stuff like that. There was a lot of the older people right around here. They just done what they could do to get by, and that was all they done. They didn't do no more than what it took to get by. And it makes you wonder just how much of overkill we go on some things nowadays. Now, I do know that's not safe, and it's not safe at all, but it worked for Grandpa his whole life. And so, you know, it makes you wonder just how overcomplicated we make a whole lot of things nowadays. Yeah, I do need to fix that though. That sounds like another good winter project, don't it?
Just keep adding to your list there. You want me to cut the breaker?
Yeah, go cut the breaker on and we'll make sure everything... Actually, yeah, go ahead and cut the breaker on and we'll make sure it's going to work first. Well, the light bulb come on, so I assume that means we got power. Let's plug the fence back in. It's popping.
And you get so used to hearing that noise of the fence box, you don't think nothing about it when you don't hear
I know,
it.
that's the thing, is I guess I just ain't paid attention to not hearing it.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like a noise that's always there. Yeah, we got something killing the fence somewhere or another, because that's only got 6.7 on it. It should say 9.9, especially right here. Well, you know what? My day may consist of working on fencing instead of doing what I was going to do. I'll go over here and check one thing first, because sometimes these cows push the metal trough against the fence. Make sure that ain't against it. Oh, it's touching it.
Oh, so that's what it is.
Now let's try it. Well, that boosted it up to 7.9, but it still ain't hitting like it's supposed to. It's a good way to check it up here. I'll unhook the power wire going to that fence, and then we'll check the power on this fence and see if it changed. I about bet you I know where it's draining the power at. You know them temporary wires we got out there in that little lot where we feed them?
Yeah.
There's a couple of them just down on the ground.
Probably a lot.
And so I need to just unhook that for now. And I don't know which one's which. I always have to just unplug and see. But one of these wires right here goes to the big pasture, and then one of these wires goes to the fence we were just checking. And so I can always eliminate which fence is the one giving me the problem by just unhooking one of those wires, and it'll cut that fence off, and then I can check the power on the fence that's still plugged up and see what we've got. So let's see if that was this fence that's plugged up now. Nope, it must be the horse fence. So let's go check it. Okay, so we got 9.9 on that one now.
That must be on the other fence.
So that means that whatever's shorting it out is on that fence over there. How about that? Normally that one right there don't never really do nothing to short out. Well, we can easily walk around that one. It don't take long at all to walk around this fence. We found a problem. Look at this. The tree limb has come out. And so if the tree limb wasn't there, that one wouldn't even be touching the post. But the tree limb's holding that wire up, and it was grounding out on that T-post.
Pocket knife to the rescue.
That's right. If y'all don't carry one of these, you're missing out. That's I forget which edition of Swiss Army that is, but that's a Swiss Army. I've carried one of these since I was old enough to tote a knife. I got an insulator in my pocket.
What made that limb do that?
The insulator, it was probably already against the fence, and the insulator, it's just these insulators are no good, and they just break because the insulator's laying out there.
Oh, so it probably broke.
See, the little clips broke off of it.
Yep.
It's what they're good for. All right, there's a spot. It's touching the wire. I mean, touching the post. We'll stick that in there.
Andy's the ultimate rigger, if you've not figured that out by now.
My grandpa used to here we go with grandpa again. Grandpa used to take a water hose, and he would just split it and put it in the wire, and then that would be his insulator, was a piece of water hose or black plastic pipe. He hardly ever bought insulators. Once again, that goes back to just how overcomplicated do we do things. Because the man made it for
80-some years.
87 years,
Yeah,
I think.
something like that.
And I mean, I don't know if he ever done anything right when it comes to fixing something. Poor fella. All this up here is looking all right. Look right here. The gate's unhooked, and it was laying against the wire. How did that happen? You think the cows got up here and bored messing with it?
Maybe.
Well, that would have been shorting it out too.
This goes to show you should walk around your fences occasionally.
Yeah, you really should. You never know what an animal's going
We
to do.
usually do pretty good walking around the pig fence.
Yeah, because that one has to have power.
Yeah,
on it.
well, we thought it did, but it ain't. I guess they were just finally smart enough to realize that not to touch it. Thank goodness. If they'd have been young pigs in there, they'd have been out.
Yeah, once they get to the size they are right now, which, knock on some wood here just for luck, but once a pig gets big, it seems like they're a lot more chill.
They don't test the fence.
No. The light's blinking now. So I bet you we got good power now. See y'all, everything I got's broke. Fence tester's broke. I have to, the wire pulled out of the end of it, so I just keep the wire wrapped around it like that right there. But it works. Where are we supposed to be now? 9.9. Good. Now I can get on with my other task for today.
I'm just going to use one of my small little sugar pumpkins today instead of using the pumpkin that I've got frozen, just because I still got some pumpkins out there. This should be enough for my pumpkin pie today. We're going to go ahead and make our sausage dip. Now, if you've never had sausage dip, you eat it with tortilla chips. And it is so easy to make, but it is so good. The first thing we're going to do is brown our sausage. My sausage is good and brown. So I'm going to put this in a little crock pot just so I can keep it warm through the day. And it'll be warm when I get to the cookout this evening. But you can actually do this on the stovetop too. Just drain some of that grease out. Which, now home sausage, you know, we do this ourselves, has a lot more grease than that sausage from the store. So you may not have nearly the grease that I do. Just depending on what kind of sausage you're using. I'm just going to add that brown sausage to my little crock pot. Y'all, this is so easy and so good and quick. I mean, it's quick. If you've never tried sausage dip, definitely give it a try. We're going to throw in drained Rotel. It's one of them whole little cans. I'm going to go ahead and mix that in together. Now we're going to throw in some pieces of Velveeta. I used about a pound of sausage. This is about a half of one of them little blocks of Velveeta. Not one of the giant ones, but one of the little ones. Then we're also going to add in a half a block of cream cheese. So I'm going to cut this on low. Once that cheese gets all soft and melty, I'll mix it all in together and show you what that looks like. Like I said, feel free to do that on the stovetop. Literally all you gotta do is melt the cheese and it's ready. So we're gonna let this go to town here. I'm gonna get my pie out and check it here. I believe it's done. Well, we've come outside to finish up some fence work.
Yeah, it's actually been, what, 2 or 3 hours, maybe longer than that since I actually fixed this down here. I had some stuff I had to go help my daddy do, and, well, a big majority of the day's done gone. So yeah. I've kind of made different arrangements on what I'm going to do this evening. But I just happened to walk by our garlic bed here, and it's actually looking really good.
Yep.
And look at all of these peppers that are coming up everywhere. It ain't even been cold enough to kill anything. We had, so the goldenrod theory, y'all probably heard us say before, was right. We did get a frost.
It just wasn't a killing frost.
It just wasn't a killing frost. It was a really light frost. It killed back some of the crabgrass and stuff like that. But it didn't kill anything else. And it ain't been cold since then. It finally today sort of feels like fall. I mean, it is cooler today than it's been. But we've got a couple of broke wires over here on the fence. I think I'm going to go ahead and fix this evening. And
this one, no, that's not the one they seen us fix before. We dug that one out and fixed it. But it's
the same wire.
It's connected to it.
But it's broke. Yeah, that was probably last year about this time, wasn't it?
I can't remember if it was late winter. I can't remember when we fixed it. I was fixing to say, I hope you cut that fence off.
I did. Did you see me?
Yeah.
It's just a habit. This is the wire that carries power under the gate here. And it's just a small strip of fencing over there that it carries power to. And it's been broke now since middle of the summer. But I decided since I'm working on fences, I'm going to go ahead and fix this. And once again, this is not done probably what you'd call the correct way. It needs to be run through a piece of conduit over here down the fence post. And this would have never broke had that been done that way. What happened was I hit it with a weed eater too many times, and it finally just yanked it in two and broke it. Once again, like I said, if this was run across here and down the post with a piece of conduit, it would be right, but
it works.
It works. I ain't trying to win no beauty pageant with it, but it works. One of these days, I keep telling myself I'm going to fix all this stuff right around here. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to influence y'all to go around here or to go around your place and not fix it right. By all means, fix it right. You should. Don't be like us and not fix it right. I don't think I'm even going to need that clamp. I don't know. I guess I could. I'm just going to bend it around. I ain't going to use that clamp. But now what's going to happen, the other thing we've got to fix is now that side of the fence has got power, or is going to have power on it. We've got some wires over there that need to be addressed because it's going to kill power on our fence now. So now that that's back on there, that's rigged up good enough. Let's go over here and take care of this. And then we're going to go work on something that we need to get done. We're kind of running out of time to do it, ain't we?
That's right. Right there is Cookie, the culprit of all this fence work this morning. I am glad she got out though, because if not, we would have never known the fence didn't have power on it.
Well, y'all know we've got this little temporary fencing set up right here. And I'm planning on completely redoing this because these old poly wires or whatever you call them, they're getting old. And the post, it's got these poly posts in it. They're all breaking.
Yeah, you barely have to touch them and they break.
Yep. And the weeds have kind of gotten all around it. Everything's just getting bad shape. So I'm just going to completely unhook these wires before I cut the power back on.
Yeah, just roll them up where can't something get tangled in them, because we know they will.
Yeah, they've already done that, ain't they?
Yeah.
Not these wires, but... I'm going to do the same thing over here. What I want to do, Megan, I ain't really talked about this with you, but I'd like to put in like wooden posts here and here, and one right over there. And this whole section here, take down the wire outsides and all, and make it wooden, with wooden planks and stuff.
That's a good idea.
And then somewhat rig me up a chute that we could back a trailer up to and actually have something to load a cow. No wonder this wire's so low, Megan. I bet when she come out of it this morning, she pulled it off because it's not broke, it's just pulled off the insulator.
Yeah, I bet she did. So for those of you that may be newer around here, like Andy said, this is our small little, we call this our sacrifice pasture. In the winter, we put the cows and the horses up in this little small area here, keep them fed and watered. They got plenty of shelter under the building there. And this is kind of where they stay. This is how we make all this compost. So from the hay and the manure that gets gathered through the winter, once it dries out, like late summer, Andy comes in here with his tractor and a front end loader and piles it up and flips it a couple times. And that is a very simple way to make lots and lots of wonderful compost. Because I'm going to tell you what now, this stuff right here will grow some stuff. Now the weed seeds that are in this, they're there, so it's not perfect, but it'll grow some stuff.
It does pretty good. I've always wanted to get it tested and see what it, just to see how good it really is. I mean, from the plants we grow in it, it seems like it's good, but I'd like to know, being that it's made from mostly hay and cow manure.
And we do make all of our own hay, so any concerns of graze on or anything like that being in the hay that goes in the compost is, I mean, we don't spray any of our hay, so.
Yeah, that's all out of the question.
Yeah.
I mean, our hay don't even get sprayed with 2,4-D or anything like that to kill the weeds. We try to, I've never really talked about that much in a video, but I try to cut my hay fields before everything seeds out, if there is any weeds in them, to keep the weed pressure low, and for the most part it works. I mean, I got a few spots here and there that have weeds, but
it ain't terrible.
No, it's nothing bad. And as long as you can, even when you do have weeds, if you cut them for hay when they're still in a really tender state, I mean, I've never noticed that a cow don't eat them anyways. But once again, our fields are pretty clean. Well, let's go plug the fence back in.
All right.
That should take care of everything.
Is that all you needed to do?
That's it. Yep, that's all I need to fix. I don't know, you think I ought to snap another new insulator on this? It ain't going nowhere.
No, she ain't in here but 15, 20 minutes a day.
Okay. It's amazing how when you get up in the morning and you've got all these plans and it can just go from one thing to the other.
Yep.
I have not done a thing today that I had planned on doing this morning when I got up.
All right, I'm gonna stir this up. My cheese is starting to melt. That's gonna be so good. Still got a little melting to do.
I've been saving this big old piece of cardboard for this special day.
Have you?
I have. Finally get to put it to use.
Yep.
Got to get me a can of black spray paint. And then I guess we'll go
Go have a little fun.
Have a little fun, but at the same time, we're still accomplishing something.
Yeah, there you go.
There's a piece of bark right there that caught it just right. I've saved this piece of cardboard for all these years just so I could prop it up against a tree.
There you go.
And paint circles on it.
Sound like a good use to me.
Paint a couple circles on it. For anybody who's been around a very long time, if y'all remember 2 or 3 years ago, we grew a bunch of produce.
Right here.
It was in this field right here, right behind us. All this little field on the side was potatoes. And up in here we had tomatoes, green beans, sweet corn. What else did we grow? Cucumbers.
Everything you could think of.
We were trying to sell a bunch, and we did okay with it, but both of us working full time at that time, it was a lot of work. But anyways, This is where it was at. We're on part of my daddy's place here. Well,
is there any paint in it? There it is.
There you go. That look like a target?
Close enough, I reckon.
If you hadn't already figured it out yet, we're getting ready to sight in, our rifles. I've got a .223 rifle, and Meagan's got a .270. And so...
And deer season is coming upon us.
Yeah, and the .223 has never been sighted in. So I have no idea how far off or anything this one's going to be. The .270 though, Meagan's had it
since I was probably 16,
yeah, a
15,
long time.
16, yeah.
A long time. So it should be fairly close. She just wants to check it. Once again, I ain't never shot this .223 other than just boom, boom. So I'm actually going to try to get it dialed in today. So Meagan, so we don't have to get it in a plowed field, we'll just shoot straight up this green strip here. We'll get up that way somewhere.
All right. And I like to add in deer meat to our rotation because, you know, we have our own pork, beef, and chicken. Usually that's all we really eat. And then adding some deer meat on top of that is just a nice change. If you remember from last year, my favorite way to do deer meat is actually, I just like to about can the whole thing. We'll eat the tenderloins and things fresh and the sweet rolls. But other than that, I can the rest of it, make some deer jerky. It's wonderful. The deer pressure here is unreal. It is, I think everybody and their brother could probably kill 20 deer apiece and it wouldn't put a dent in them.
We're going to try it right here because honestly, a shot like this is probably about as far of a shot that we're ever going to take anywhere.
Yeah, just the way of the lay of the land.
Yeah, it's kind of rare to have a piece of land that's this open for this far in our area. I mean, we could get plumb up at the other end of the field there and try it, but I think I'm just going to stick with it right here. Oh, me. And for anybody worried, that is a dead tree. And on the other side of that tree is a hill and a creek bank. So once the bullet... It's
not a pasture, it's not anything.
It's not anything. It is a grass field over there on the neighbor's place, but it's going to hit the creek bank before it even goes that far. So as soon as it goes through the cardboard, if it happens to go through the tree, it's going straight into a creek bank. So there's no chance of anybody accidentally getting hurt here. Guess I'll see what I can do.
All right.
I don't even know if it's bore sighted.
Well, I guess you're fixing to find out.
Yeah. I started to get worried. I didn't think there was even a hole in the cardboard. But it's way over here. So, I knew that thing was going to be off a lot. So I'm going to paint over that hole so we know that's an old hole. Then I'll adjust on the scope a little bit and we'll see what we can do.
All right.
You're good. Dang, I forgot how loud that thing is.
I told you.
And guys, for anybody wondering why in the world I've got such a small rifle and Meagan's got the big rifle, That's actually the only gun Meagan's got. I've got several. And I just been wanting a smaller centerfire rifle. I won't shoot it this time. We'll go down there and see what kind of hole you made.
Okay.
And I hope yours is pretty close. I knew that one was going to take some work to get sighted
Well, yeah,
in.
I hope it is. We'll see.
We need a shooting table. I guess, you know, this is something that neither one of us has done a whole lot of. We've hunted a lot. We've
Whole
just
lives, yeah.
never spent a lot of time recreationally shooting. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. We shooting for something to eat when we're shooting.
That's about right. But, you know, every so often you do got to sight one in, especially if you get a different gun.
You don't want to accidentally gut shot something and it run off and suffer, so.
That's true. You want to make sure they're dialed in. And I guess one reason we never recreationally shoot a lot is time and just the simple fact that bullets cost so much.
Yeah.
I mean, that ain't cheap. Back in the old days, you could shoot all day long and it not cost you hardly anything. But man, nowadays, it's tough when you just go to wasting bullets.
That's why we're shooting very few.
Yeah.
It's close. It may not hurt to tick it over a little bit because I killed a deer last year and that's about.
It's about how you were off, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we'll hit yours a click or two.
Yeah, it ain't gonna take no whole lot at all.
Let me paint over this hole so we know it's a old hole. All right, this time I'm gonna shoot a couple of times.
Okay.
And then we'll walk down here.
Okay. You know what we should have did?
What?
One of us should have rode the four-wheeler down here.
That'd have been smart, but I just really didn't think about, I don't know. Didn't think about it. Like everything else today, seems like it's just been all whacked up. Well,
Walking never hurt nobody.
I need my exercise, that's for sure. I'd say I seen a big difference in the hole size.
Mm-hmm.
Yours made a lot bigger hole than mine did. If you want to go ahead and shoot yours,
You think we'll be able to tell the difference?
I think we'll be able to tell the difference.
Okay.
Before we walk back down there that far.
I know. I was holding up a little stiller that time. The longer I sit there, the less still I hold.
Yeah, that's the way it goes. When you throw it up, you kind of got to shoot in.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think I can do better with iron sights than I can a scope. When you're looking through a scope, you can see every bit, a little bit of movement you make. You look through iron sights, it's just there. So there's yours, Meagan. This time we went too far, so I think I'll click yours back right in the middle between where it was sitting.
All right.
And you should be right. But mine,
It's still over there.
it's still way over here.
At least it's consistent.
But I don't understand. I went up and I adjusted it to go left.
Well, it went up.
I know, but I didn't adjust it to go up. I didn't make that adjustment yet. I was going to wait till I got it over before I done the up and down adjustment. So
Don't take advice from us.
looks like we're going to be down here a little while longer. Well, we're getting closer. Meagan's is dialed in pretty good, but I finally got mine inside the big circle. I keep on adjusting to the left on that scope too, but bad thing is we've run out of time. We got to get back and get everything fed
And go to the cookout.
and go to the cookout. So at least we've made some progress here. I'll come back and shoot it a few more times, but like I said, we got Meagan's dialed in.
But anyways, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed today's video. It was a little bit of this and that and the other today, but it's just what we were doing.
I honestly, in some ways, feel like I ain't accomplished a thing today.
Well, you have, though. The fence needed to be fixed.
Yeah.
It had to be fixed.
Yeah.
Deer season is almost upon us. This had to be done. That's the way I feel about it.
Yeah.
But anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you might have learned a little something. Till we see y'all on the next one.
Y'all have a good one.
Have a good one.